Welcome back to our channel. We live in a world that celebrates gain. More money, more success, more recognition, more relationships, more possessions. From childhood, we are conditioned to believe that progress is measured by accumulation, by how much we have, how far we've climbed, and how many blessings we can count. We are taught to chase increase and fear loss at all costs. But life has a way of interrupting that narrative. In the quiet moments, in the seasons of loss, in the unexpected endings and sudden changes, we are confronted with a deeper, uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the greatest blessings are not in what God gives, but in what He takes away. Loss is rarely celebrated. We don't post about it. We don't praise God for it, at least not at first. Instead, we often interpret loss as punishment, rejection, or abandonment. We ask questions like, what did I do wrong? Or why would God allow this? But as I journeyed with God, He began to show me a profound paradox. Loss can be a gift, not because it feels good, not because it's easy, but because God uses subtraction to accomplish things addition never could. Such as it creates space, it exposes idols, it realigns priorities, and loss can bring us closer to the heart of God than abundance ever could. And nowhere is this truth more powerfully illustrated than in the story of Elisha and the widow. The widow in 2 Kings 4 had already lost more than most of us could imagine. She had lost her husband. She had lost her security. She had lost her stability. And now she was on the brink of losing her sons to slavery because of debt. Clearly, this woman wasn't facing inconvenience. She was facing total collapse. When she cried out to Elisha, she wasn't asking for luxury. She was asking for survival. Now Elisha's response was surprising. He didn't pray for money like we would have. He didn't promise instant rescue. Instead, he asks a simple question. What do you have in your house? Her answer was painful in its honesty. Nothing, she said, except for a small jar of oil. Now notice the language of loss. She didn't lead with hope. She led with lack. My friend, loss has a way of narrowing our vision. It convinces us that what remains is insignificant. But God often does His greatest work with what we've dismissed as too small. Elisha tells her to do something that makes no sense. Borrow empty vessels, not a few. Then go inside, shut the door, and start pouring. Now notice, God's miracle didn't begin with addition. It began with emptiness. Empty jars, empty space, empty expectations. And here's the lesson we often miss. God will not fill what we refuse to empty. Sometimes what God removes is not punishment. It's preparation. We all want God to pour more into our lives, but we refuse to let go of what's already occupying the space. Old identities, old relationships, old habits, old seasons, old attachments. Loss can feel like God is taking something from us, but often He's removing what would limit what He wants to pour through us. Now watch this. As long as there were empty vessels, the oil flowed. But the moment the jars ran out, the oil stopped. Why? Not because God ran out of power, but because there was no more room. This is a sobering truth that must not be missed. God's provision often matches our willingness to make space. My friends, loss creates capacity. Loss expands dependence. Loss deepens faith. Sometimes God allows subtraction because addition would destroy us. If He gave us everything we wanted without removing what we didn't need, we would never learn trust. We would never learn obedience. We would never learn surrender. Consider this for a moment. What if God removed that relationship because it would have ruined you later? What if He closed that door because it would have led to compromise? What if the thing you're mourning was the very thing blocking your growth? We rarely see loss as protection in the moment, but hindsight reveals mercy disguised as removal. The widow didn't realize it at first, but her loss positioned her for a miracle she never could have orchestrated. Another thing to consider is, loss strips us down to what's essential. It removes distractions. It exposes what we lean on instead of God. In abundance, we thank God casually. In loss, we cling to Him desperately. And desperation often produces the deepest faith. My friend, God is not trying to break you. He's refining you. Fire doesn't destroy gold, it reveals it. Sometimes God removes something because where it was taking you is not where He intends you to go. The widow's loss forced her to move, from despair to obedience, from fear to faith, from survival mode to divine provision. Loss redirected her toward God's solution, and it can do the same for you. If you're in a season where something has been taken from you, a relationship, a role, a dream, a sense of certainty, hear this clearly. God is not absent in your loss. He is active in it. What feels like subtraction may be divine alignment. What feels like emptiness may be preparation for overflow. The oil didn't flow despite the empty jars. It flowed because of them. God does not minimize your pain, but He also does not waste it. Loss hurts, grief is real. What He removes, He replaces with something deeper, greater dependence, clearer purpose, stronger faith. So if God has taken something from you, don't rush to assume abandonment. Pause, pray, make space. Because sometimes the greatest blessing is not what God puts in your hands, but what He lovingly removes from them. Thanks for joining us today. If you found this message uplifting to your heart, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and don't forget to share with your friends. But above all, remember that if God has taken something from you, don't rush to call it loss. Instead, consider that if what feels like subtraction is actually divine alignment. The widow never prayed for empty jars, she prayed for survival. Yet it was the emptiness that made room for the miracle. What He removes may be what was holding you back, and what feels like an ending may be the space God needs to begin again. So don't fear the empty places. Bring your empty jars to God. Because as long as there is space, as long as there is surrender, as long as there is trust, the oil can still flow.